to war. Who's calling us home? And into the combat zone we roll. Buffalo combat zone. The war is ours to own. Bill's Mafia rise under crimson skies. Defeats disdain. Victory's glory in the Buffalo combat zone. Buffalo combat zone. The war is ours to own. Bill's Mafia rise under crimson skies. Defeats disdain. Victory's glory in the Buffalo combat zone.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
Welcome back to the Buffalo Combat Zone. We are your hosts, Alex, Miley, and Randall. What's up, fellas?
Going on?
Not much.
Not much, man. Not
Victory
much.
Monday.
Victory Monday, yep.
Victory Monday. Please like, share, subscribe, check us out. We're about to talk about a few things. I think where we should start maybe is the recap of the game, which you guys saw. And then we'll kind of migrate into the comments today by the coaches and the kind of what we want to happen in the coming week, because we really only have a week left to change this roster in any significant way. So what are your thoughts, Randall?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a get right game. We always do well after the bye week. Run game was what did it, sort of thing. Basically, we had 22 personnel in an HB toss, and it just worked consistently, and they couldn't really do anything about it. So I love that. The passing game wasn't needed, but we did turn it on in the third quarter, and then we sat the starters. A couple things, so I won't extend it out, but a couple things that I noticed that I liked was 11 personnel with Jackson Hawes a good amount of times, which I did like to see. That's interesting little nugget that he put in there. And then Shakir, in the third quarter when we got going, Shakir just had a couple of curls that were quick zone beaters, and then he would take off. He got a first down, and then that was his touchdown. I think we need to start using him more in that regard. Keon Coleman leads the Bills in 40 targets for the year on year two. Shakir's right behind him at 39 targets with a new contract. Shakir's targets behind the line of scrimmage is 13, and then his targets from 0 to 9 is 17. And I think we need to flip it. We need Shakir to get the ball past the line of scrimmage more than stop doing screen passes more consistently. We're averaging more than one screen per game to Shakir, while we're two. I apologize. We're 2 per game on Shakir screens, and we're only 1 target from 0 to 9 per game. So we need to flip that. We need to start giving him more 0 to 9 to get first downs, like how we had with Cole Beasley, and work through that on the offense. And I think that's where more passing game can open up, aligned with Palmer and hopefully, what we talk about, getting a new receiver as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try and stay positive, because if you want to be pessimistic and negative, despite the 31-point win, just scroll through Twitter, because that's how every fan is on that app. They think it's, we only won by 31. I guess winning by 31 doesn't look good enough. I don't really understand that. We won in dominating fashion. I don't really care who we were playing. I don't care how bad Andy Dalton is. We dominated their strengths. Their strengths were in the trenches, and we absolutely dominated them in the trenches. This is the best, even with all the injuries, this is the best defensive line I've seen in a while from Buffalo. We're on pace to have our first 50 sack season since 2014. I want to give Bean, because Bean's been getting a lot of harp this year, I want to give him some credit. These offseason additions have looked really good. Larry Ogunjobi and Michael Hoyt had a great first game. Joey Bosa's looked good all year. Josh Palmer, while hasn't put up crazy numbers, we can see his importance because we've seen the passing attack with him and without him, and it's a drastic drop. So those 4 signings alone, I thought, have been very good. And then this draft class, it's looking like we're getting some instant impact guys. Deion Walker is the best, is the most productivity we've gotten out of defensive or a rookie. And how long? It's been a while, especially in the defensive side of the ball. He has been very good. Maxwell Harrison looked very good in his debut. Jackson Hawes, as you mentioned, they've been using him a lot. And then Jordan Hancock filled in at safety, and he made that nice tackle that saved a touchdown that, like, if it was Rapp or Poyer there, probably he runs right by, and that flips the game because I'm pretty sure that was the drive Group got that strip tackle, right?
Correct.
Yeah, if he scores there, it's a 9-7 game or 7-6 game or whatever. No, it would have been 12-10, I think, at that point if we don't get that strip sack. Instead, we get the sack, and then it completely flips the game if he scores there. So it's just we're seeing a lot out of our rookies this year that we don't usually see in years past. It usually takes a couple years. Yeah, Landon Jackson and TJ Sanders haven't shown much, and Maxwell's only played half a game, but we're seeing a lot of these flashes, which is nice to see. So I think Bean, while still some work to do and some other mistakes from years past have started to show light heavily right now. I think he had a very good offseason last year with his free agent signings and some of the draft picks he made being instant impact guys. So I want to give credit there because I just see too much pessimism for a 5-2 team. It just makes me mad.
I'll start off.
I'm with you.
I think the defense, I agree on the defensive line point. I think it took a little while to kind of get here, but I think the defensive line looks better than I anticipated it looking, honestly. They get pressure, and you feel the pressure. It's not just like these empty pressures that we see every year from Buffalo, like the Greg Rousseau pressures, things like that we just don't see on the stat sheet, and then we don't actually feel it, like the I don't know what you would call it, like the phantom pressures is what I would call it, where it doesn't really feel like he's actually.
We're getting close, right as they throw it, so it doesn't even make much of a difference.
Yeah, Dog 2659 says Brady ain't NFL. I'm gonna talk about him in a second.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too because I disagree.
So I will say this: the D line is better than I've seen it in a while. I feel like the linebackers held up a little bit better than usual, just due to the size of the players. I just feel like Bernard and Milano sometimes have a tendency to get pushed around a little bit. All they had was a run game. This game felt a lot like the Jets game to me. I'm going to hold reservation on whether the defense is fixed until next week against Kansas City, where they actually have a legitimate quarterback throwing the football back there. I know a lot of people said that Dalton was some sort of upgrade over Bryce Young. I tend to disagree. I just think that Bryce Young can move around a little more and buy themselves time. I don't think either one is good. I don't think it's a massive leap between either guy. I just think that he's harder to deal with than a 38-year-old, Dalton, or how old he is. Offensively, I mean, I'm kind of tired of the spamming bullshit. I mean, excuse my language. I get it. This is working. We got to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it over and over again. And I get it. I'm fine with it. But it's it just feels very antiquated. It feels very high school-y, in my opinion. I think that Brady's fine in his in-game adjustments when he needs to adjust. I think that Brady has some he's not a bad offensive coordinator by any means. I think he's literally working with what he's been given. I don't think there's enough options for him to actually orchestrate a passing game that actually makes sense. I think the Khalil Shakir stuff is a great example of that. I think there's a lot behind the line and within 10 yards, 30 of his 39 targets, because he's in a situation where we need an extension to the run game because we can't actually pass the ball downfield. I don't think Khalil Shakir is doing a really good job of getting open down the field either. I think he's okay. I don't think he's amazing there. I think a lot of his strengths are in that -5 to 10 yard range, right? At the end of the day. And I know he can do different things. We've seen him get down the field before, but I'm not saying I just don't think that that's his consistent strength that he's going to do over and over and over again. But I think that it shouldn't have to be. And I think if he had good boundary receivers around him when Palmer's in, I think he's shows a little bit better. but I think that he can get open once the focus isn't on him so much, because teams aren't caring. Like they're putting like cornerback 2 and 3 on Keon Coleman and they're washing him, I did see Horn on him a few times, but I don't think he was on him the whole entire game, other than just by necessity because he got 70% of the snap share. But I don't think it matters. I don't think whoever guards Keon doesn't have a problem with him getting separation on him, getting down the field in any meaningful way. I think that experiment for me is over. Like, I hate being correct in these. I gave him a chance. I've got a lot of hope from Keon in week 1 this year. I thought he was going to change his game, but he just kind of did the same shit we always see him do, right? He comes out, he has a good game, and then disappears for like 6, and he pops up again, and they're like, oh, look, he's developing, and then it happens again and again and again. I think he was like that at Florida State. Remember Florida State's last year? Like, he killed LSU, and then he kind of was okay the next week, and then he kind of faded away and only had like 500 and some yards that season, I think. So I don't know if this is just kind of who he is. He will always be. I think that's probably the case. I think Palmer is fine once he gets back, but he's hurt. I mean, realistically, I know that Allen's not without blame for yesterday's passing game. But I do see really it's just 2 or 3 plays where Allen missed. I think he missed the one where Kincaid and Keon are in the same area. Right. I think that's an eyes like what he's seen, indecisiveness in some ways. And then we did see the one where Kincaid uncovers in the 10.9 second play where Kincaid's running kind of like an over and he's over on the left sideline and Allen probably should have thrown it. And I think that Allen's eyes were there. And then when the guy fell down, he missed that and went up to look behind him. And then by the time his eyes came back to it, they had recovered and it just didn't happen, right? That happens to quarterbacks all the time. The separation's a far bigger issue than Allen missing a few throws, even though he was sure. I mean, it just like the separation at the catch point, I was bull crap. I'm sick of hearing about that. I think that's not real separation to me. That's just winning 50-50 balls. And he's not good at that either, by the way.
Right.
So I don't know. I hate to be negative about it. I'm glad we won 40-9. That's cool. Like, I don't think the way I value, I guess this is what I'm trying to get to. The way I value how I feel about a game is how repeatable it is going into the future and how likely it is for us to continue to win this way. And I think it's very slim to win this way every single week. You can't win one game every week. And James Cook's not that kind of player. He bursted out, but he's not Barkley where he can just continue to take hits and carry the ball 30 times and carry you on his back. You know what I mean? So I don't like that role for him. I'd rather him carry 15 and get 150,
Yeah. I think we're in I think we're in a little bit of a new territory with Keon Coleman when it comes down to it. And I think that the consistency of Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott week over week being like, he's developing, he's growing, he's maturing and this and this and this, right? And then we see that clip of the post-game McDermott speech where Keon Coleman was not really, getting hyped with his team, not clapping, looked very mundane while everybody around was clapping after a 40-9 win, and wide receivers can be divas like that. But if we're leading up and we keep talking about maturity, and then that game, he goes for 30 yards with the highest snap share, and then they send him out on the punt duty and he takes a lick on that punt, and he's probably not happy right now. And the funny thing is that he can't be mad because he's not playing well. So now the two butting heads of McDermott and Keon could force their hand into a situation of getting a wide receiver at that deadline. And I think that while you were early to it, and I'm always optimistic, and I was hoping for more, and I'm still hoping for more, but there might be a turning point that had happened that was like, okay, we might need to look other ways because Keon is not a wide receiver too. And he's not, but I think McDermott and Beam were hanging on long enough, and I think that punt return might have been one of those symbols.
And he also, before you jump in, Miley, I think that he's been given a leash that most players do not get. He's been reprimanded 2 times in the last 2 years for similar. I'm assuming the problem he had recently was very similar to the problem he had last year. It feels like I'm 100%. Late. It didn't feel like he was caught doing something crazy. It sounds like I'm late for a meeting again because some stupid excuse. We've all heard excuses in school, right? He's a young kid. That happens. But it sounds like it's happened now twice. He's a professional now. This does not bode well with Sean McDermott and how he views players. And he's still continuing to get lots of play time, targets when he shouldn't get them, targets in big time situations when 3rd and long, they're throwing up 50-50 back shoulder fades to him, things like that. And it's like, dude, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, that just doesn't feel like something that usually happens with McDermott players. And I don't blame him for being that way, but he needs to be consistent as well. Like, I know he benched him for a first drive and then a quarter before that, but that's not enough. If you're late for a meeting, I think he would have at one point benched guys for a whole game for that, you know? So I don't know. Go ahead, Miley. Sorry. Can you hear me, Miley?
I think we're reading real quick. Or is he frozen?
He's frozen.
Yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi is acting weird. But yeah, so I want to get into the Joe Brady criticism because yes, he's not perfect, but we as Bills fans were clamoring for years about give Josh Allen a run game. Why does it have to be so much about Josh Allen? Josh Allen, it's like, oh, and then we finally give him a run game, and it's like, why are we neutering Josh Allen? Why doesn't he have a pass attack? It's like, what do you want? Like, we finally found a run game, and I don't think people realize how much of it's Joe Brady and his run schemes and his play calling because we have the same off. I would rather who would I rather have? Like Joe Brady or Brian Daboll?
Would you rather the passing game be elite or the running game be elite?
The running game. 100% the running game.
I would much rather
100% the running game. It's more successful like overall for teams. We see a lot of the top offenses in the league have great run games. I think really except for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. But
Pacheco's having a good 2 weeks though.
Yeah, but if you're
exactly. This is the best their offenses looked. It's with Pacheco looking better. Like run games start everything. I would much rather have this Joe Brady style with an elite run game. And I don't even think his passing concepts are bad. I just don't think we have the receivers to do it.
Right.
And
that's what I'm saying. Which one would you rather have? What we have now with like no one who can get open, even when they stack the box with like 7 and 8. Or would you rather have an elite passing offense and then Devin Singletary who gives you, 750 yards a year?
It needs to be both because when it comes down, when it comes down to it though, the issue is that I understand that Josh Allen we need to figure out Josh Allen throwing deeper balls, but we also have to remember that he's not the most accurate downfield on long balls, intermediate, incredible. Anything past 25 yards he's not the greatest at doing that. So if we're talking about choosing the passing attack and cover 2 so prevalent, we need to kind of calibrate and meet in the middle. So I'm with Miley on the run game overall because realistically, in cover 2 and Josh Allen in this day and age, I don't think that would work. I think it works in 2021 and 2020, but with the game evolving, it's more important that the run game works.
That's exactly what it is. Teams are playing all this too high, and we can't have that passing attack anymore. That's what we saw in 2022 and the beginning of 23. It really start to fall off some because defenses adjusted, and that's why Josh had 18 picks in 2023.
The thing for me is I don't even care about the deep passing game as much because it's such a small portion of your game. I just want the intermediate game to click, the short to intermediate to click to like the 10 to 15 yard range.
That's wide receivers though.
Yeah, I know.
That's a personnel issue.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. We are total agreement. I'm just saying I want that. And I don't want it's like I'd take a little out of the running game to be able to supplant that and do it. I'd rather see us look like we did against the Ravens game, which is clear now from Brady's comments today, was the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's like, we need to turn it off. We can do it. Look at the Ravens game. I'm like, whenever he's playing like off coverage because they think the game's over. That's what happened there. You know what I mean? And then we got up against it.
I have a question for both of you, and then I won't answer it. Why did he say those things when McDermott was on the opposite side of him? I mean, McDermott said we need to be able to pass the ball, and it was clear that he was insinuating that it was not working as well. Why do you guys think that Joe Brady came on there and he was way too confident? Like, you got to meet in the middle. And he was like, there's nothing wrong. I could have turned around. Like, he was very on one side. And I don't know if he was defending himself. Go ahead.
I think it was just BS. I think it was just BS into the media.
You think so?
Yeah. I never read much into pressers because it's all just 95% of the time, it's just BS stuff that they say the same talking points over and over again, and they address it in-house. It's especially with the Bills, like that's just how they are. They're not going and talking bad about their team through the media. It's not like Woody Johnson talking about how Justin Fields sucks. The Bills like to handle everything in-house, so I just don't read into it much.
But that's as negative as McDermott gets, though. To be honest, like in pressers, he's always in the positive. That's in a neutral. Like McDermott doesn't even go neutral, and that was a neutral statement.
I think that was a lot of just like right after the game frustration. While Joe Brady had a day to kind of sit back and respond to everything and let everything settle down a little bit. But I was trying to get to this comment right here about the Samuel Moore thing. I don't think it's them forgetting how to get open. I don't think it's the Bills' passing concepts. They're buried in the depth chart, and their skill set is already. We have better players for their skill set, and Khalil Shakir and Josh Palmer. So they don't offer different skill sets. When you had them in Washington and Cleveland, respectively, you had the outside guys, and then they could be more of like the slot gadgety underneath guys. We already have those guys, so they're not. Their skill sets aren't needed as much, and them being buried in the depth chart is why they're not having the numbers. And then the run game thing, I think you can just look at the instant effect of 2023 when our run game and our offensive line was not that good the start of the year, and then Joe Brady takes over as offensive coordinator and it instantly gets much, much better. And our run game becomes elite the second half. Aaron Kromer definitely has an impact. Like I'm not saying it's all Joe Brady, but you saw the instant impact when Joe Brady took over. His motioning allows Josh to be able to read coverages, and then he can kind of decipher where he wants the ball to go and check to these different run plays, which is, again, this is a Joe Brady thing. And we can find where the open hole is going to be, where the strength is. I think it was on one of the run plays I watched a breakdown of. It was like Jackson Hawes went in motion, and then, like, basically as soon as he went in motion, they snapped the ball, and him going in motion switched, like, what was the strong side of the field. So the Panthers were out of position because they had more people, I think, on the right side. And then Jackson Hawes instantly motions over to the left, and they snap it immediately. And now they have what the weak side is. Now they have more guys over there, and then there's a big opening for Cook to run through. And it's things like that. He's very good at motioning people and getting the defense out of position with those motions that allows these run games to open up very easily.
I tend to agree with that. I think it's a combination of both of them, probably.
Yeah.
I think Kromer
He's definitely not perfect.
For sure.
Yeah, his passing
Kromer's
schemes
awesome.
need to improve. And Kromer's awesome. Yes, like Brady's not perfect. I just think he gets way too much hate. And people are starting to compare him to Ken Dorsey, and I find that asinine.
He's better than that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I prefer him over Dayball as well, to be honest.
Me too.
Dayball would be nuts with his situational play calling. I hated
All
it.
day.
Yeah.
And Miley, when you mentioned the motions, and that's kind of what I was talking about with Shakir, is with Shakir and even Keon Coleman's quick catch that he had on the right side, those were all zone beaters. They identified zone in motion, and then it was just a quick curl. And it was kind of like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce-esque, right? Just quickly find it, catch it, and run. And that's what I think we need to do is, like, if we're – like we kind of did that with the Ravens and things like that. Just take the short stuff and identify where it is instead of trying to mesh consistently or just do outs to the sideline. Get a quick curl, pick up 7, and see if you can run up. And that's what I want with zone beaters.
If there's a game plan I could look to, like a Joe Brady game plan of like, oh, I want to run this. Actually, it comes from a loss. The 2023 divisional round against the Chiefs, I thought his game plan was flawless in that game. A lot of short, quick, and then he took a couple of shots when the Chiefs came up, because that was like, this is probably the second best defense in football that year behind the Ravens.
Gabe was out.
We were moving the
Gabe was
yeah,
out.
Trent Sherfield was our wide receiver too, and dropped 2 50-yard passes. Josh Allen was carving them up by doing those little short, quick, get the ball out before the defense could react and rely on the run game. I think if we could get to that, but then we add another receiver to the other side of Palmer that we can trust down the field, I think that type of game where it's just a lot of quick, it was like people were like, oh, all these throws are behind the line of scrimmage or with like 5 to 10 yards. It's like, yeah, take what the defense gives you and just keep doing that, get in the playmaker's hands, and then take the shots. And I think in the second half, it looked like Brady was wanting to do that. But when you have no one who can separate on the outside, You can't really do that. In the Atlanta game, we had Palmer. We took the deep shot. He gets injured. You can't do that anymore.
I also think that there's a case with Allen too, being a little bit jumpy with his play style. Like I think part of the passing game problem is that, first of all, people are open very rarely. Let's say that, right?
Yeah.
It's not no one ever. And then they are open. It's almost like a surprise. So his confidence is very low that it's going to happen, right? And I can just
No, I'm agreeing. It's crazy to
hey,
say in a sentence, right?
I'm a D1 intramural quarterback. Okay, I know this stuff.
Yeah.
Flag football, D1. Okay, and what I will tell you is that when you have guys that can't get open very often or regularly, you do start to come off your spot a little bit early. You start to kind of see ghosts a little bit, and it's not really his fault. It's almost like he's almost a product of his environment at this point. They do need to go back to what they did week 1, 2, and 3, where they just take what the defense gives them. And other than the screenplays, Allen hasn't been really doing that. And the Shakir long touchdown this week, he hasn't really been doing that lately. He's been given more confidence. And then the last point before you get into the Steve comment, I do have a problem with some of the pass concepts that Brady's deploying, because I think he's utilizing who we have improperly. Like, he's not moving around Keon at all. I know we have problems with him, but he's on the team. You got to use him, right? He's on the team.
Right.
I need to see more in breakers and drags than
Trip sets.
Yeah, like do something with some bunch, get him some free space somehow, and get him going. Like run those little hooks, curls. Just do something that's short, get him in some yak situations. Like, they're just not doing enough of that stuff with him. And that bothers me a little bit too, where it's like Brady needs to start just utilizing these players and what they do best. I know he had 2 back shoulder, beautiful fades against the Ravens last year, but he hasn't been that successful at it other than, I bet you if you look at the percentages, it's probably less than 50% of those are completed. The 50-50 balls don't work. Did against the Seahawks. I think we keep seeing these type of plays and we want it to be true. But it just isn't that true. Like, he looks like he should be able to do those things regularly, and he can at times. And when he does, it looks perfect, right? But outside of that, he hasn't been that good at it. So you got to start using him in ways that we can win more often. And those are low percentage throws anyway. Like, get him away from those. Allen doesn't like throwing those balls like that. I don't know why we keep doing it. It drives me nuts.
I think the issue with Keon is that his basketball background is also his mentality, right? Basketball is, I can outwork you. I can outwork you and get it done. That doesn't happen in football. Yeah. And then I'll answer Miley for Steve. I'll just answer like I'm Miley. We need to use more play action.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Miley. Finish it off.
I think this is also a Josh Palmer comment. We were utilizing it in the Patriots game. We had it was Josh Palmer, Dalton Kincaid. They were getting open on those intermediate. And then the Falcons game, we saw the play action post to start the game. And then Josh Palmer got injured. And that's why we need to get a receiver, is because it can't always be just Josh Palmer. Him going down has kind of really highlighted how badly our vertical separators are on the outside. But we do have one. He's just currently injured, which handicaps what Joe Brady can do. I saw a clip where it was the play where Josh missed Elijah Moore. We did try a deep shot there, but it was with 2 people. Elijah Moore got lucky the safety foul, and Curtis Samuel was blanketed, and then everyone else was doing basically nothing. And then Josh misses the throw, but that's because the safety slipped. There's the only reason Elijah Moore was that open. And then being this negative about the passing game, the reason I'll never be that negative about the offense is because we have Josh Allen, and he can figure it out. And statistically, I think we're 9th in the league in passing EPA. We haven't had an awful passing attack. It room to improve, and it looks clunky and weird at times, 100%. But I think it's more of a personnel issue that I think will get addressed, because Bean has shown almost every year he makes deadline moves. He's made at least one each of the last 3 years. He got Amari Cooper last year, Rasul Douglas the year before, Naheem Hines the year before that. And even though Hines wasn't as big, but he does make moves every year. So I expect another move to be made this year. And then Palmer coming back will also allow more of those opportunities.
And this is a flaw with the EPA a little bit, in my opinion, is that it's probably heavily influenced by 2 really long touchdowns by Khalil Shakir, where he did all the work, and a end of game situation against the Ravens in which we scored a ton of points in a very short period of time as well. I don't know how much those affected it, but I'd beg to think that it probably affected it a lot. My issue is more of like, I get we're ninth EPA. It doesn't feel like it. And other than like, and I feel like the only thing that can influence that is those, probably 10 to 15 plays throughout the year that we're getting, it's influencing the score through the roof on those big plays. You know what I mean?
But I mean, if you take away everyone's big plays, their EPA is going to look worse.
That's why we gave Shakir money, because he does that, and he
does that.
consistently, statistically does it.
Exactly.
And,
a couple times a year.
And then even if, like, let's even calibrate it and put us at like 14th in EPA, that's still fixable with Josh Allen and Joe Brady. But what it comes down to is, I think what's even more important, well, not more important, just as important or a little less important, is that, again, we're seeing too many little injuries that are getting people out 1 to 2 games, and we can't expect when one chain link breaks, 3 more break, and that's what's been happening in this first half of the year. So we can't bet on everybody being healthy week 17 to 18 and going into the playoffs. We need somebody that, if Josh Palmer or somebody else gets hurt, steps in and we're not worried about it. Because Keon Coleman, we thought that Keon Coleman could be that guy, right? Josh Palmer gets hurt. Don't worry, we got Keon and Dalton. That's not the case anymore. That's out the window.
No.
We need somebody for that, and that's important.
I think the running back question that just showed up on the screen too, because I want to get into trade candidates and things. And what do you think the likelihood is here? Like, as soon as I'm done with this, I think we do need to get the running backs more into the pass game, but that's not a solution.
I agree.
Yeah,
that's not a solution for your pass game, because those are also schemed up plays. Like, we need to win without being schemed up. It doesn't have to happen every time. I love being able to scheme. Like, I think Brady's pretty good at scheming up open players. The problem is that if you're continuing to do that's all you do, then you have major problems with your passing game. This is what happens when you get to the AFC Championship game and you've been scheming guys open all year, and all of a sudden the Chiefs figure it out and they're not allowing you to scheme it anymore like they used to, or at least bottling it up. And then you need to make a throw when it's not a rundown at all. Like, they know you're going to throw the ball, and you just can't win. And it's the same thing happened in the Texans game last year, happened in the Ravens game last year. It happened against the Falcons. It's happened it's happening a lot where teams, when they want to stop us, they just go man and they bring the heat.
Yep.
And it works because we can't get anybody to uncover quick enough. So I think the running backs would help a lot, take some pressure off of it, but I don't think it's the answer.
Yeah, I agree. It's a wrinkle that should be added, but it shouldn't be the solution.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, Ty Johnson only had like 18 catches last year. I know he was just really good.
Big time catches, though. Like, he's so consistent and efficient. Yeah.
It was inflated by the Lions game a little bit as well. And really, he's really only catching 1 pass a game last year. Cook, I think, needs to be involved a lot more. I don't know why they have not thrown him the ball at all in the last couple of weeks, but maybe just because the run game's been clicking so well.
Ray Davis looked pretty good.
Yeah.
At least.
So
that's confusing.
What do you think?
Offensive line looked amazing.
Give me 3 things. The most likely if we make a trade, most likely candidate for us to go after. The second thing is who you'd want to go after. And third, what do you think that Bean's actually going to do?
Jacoby Myers, Rashid Shaheed, Jacoby Myers. Okay. I genuinely believe he goes and gets Jacoby Myers.
And you think that's the best play?
No, the best I think is Shaheed, but I think the most likely, and I think the one he gets is Jacoby Myers, because I do believe he gets a receiver, and there's already that connection with McDermott talking about how much he likes him, and he fits the style of receiver. He can block, he can line up out wide, but he's not like a Matt Collins Keon. He can separate and get open out wide, and I think it just the style of receiver he is. And with the McDermott comments, they clearly have interest in bringing someone like that into the building. And I get the report that came that they're asking for a day 2 pick. That I don't see that happening. I think that they'll end up being it's to drive up the price. They're asking for a day 2, and then by the trade deadline, they'll end up trading it for a 4th or a 5th.
What do you think happens? And why wait?
Maybe here's a quick question.
Maybe they're trying to. Maybe the only reason it's waiting so long is because of his injury, and they want to monitor that. I don't know how the severity to his injury. I mean, he didn't actually like injure it in game. It's kind of like I think like a Taylor Rapp one, not because Rapp might have been a benching. It was more so maybe that's because Myers is getting traded, but I think it was something that was lingering that they just said, all right, you're sitting out because it's the week before the bye. It could be something like that.
I mean,
I think you got to monitor that.
We're running.
If we got a wide receiver, would you want them to play against the Chiefs?
Yeah.
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 At least have them.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm hoping Palmer can somehow play because Palmer is a
I think
Chiefs
Palmer
killer. He
will.
averages like 85.
Yeah.
He averages like 85 yards a game in his career against the Chiefs.
And he's day to day now too, not week to week. So
I think he plays.
So he should,
I think
he
he
should play. Yeah.
I think he goes. I don't think he practices tomorrow, and then I think he practices limited on Thursday and Friday, and he plays.
yeah, my only concern with us waiting this long is that Bean has some weird thought in his head that like if we look good against the Chiefs, I won't make a move. And I don't know if that's the right play either. And that's what scares me a little bit. My thought is who I'd like is Olave.
Well,
He's
I just don't
not
think it's
going
happening.
though.
It's
Yeah,
not.
I think,
I'm kind of thinking of the people I think that are getting traded.
Shaheed
Yeah.
then. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
not say Olave. I'll say
Yeah, Shaheed I like the most. Yeah,
Waddle's not in this conversation. He's
No.
not getting traded.
Right.
He's just
I don't
not
think
right.
DJ Moore is either. I just
No,
haven't seen
he's
enough
not.
about it. DJ
Yeah.
Moore would be the ideal guy, and in the offseason, that actually makes a lot of sense. The Carolina connections for McDermott, Bean, and Joe Brady.
Yep.
Shaheed Myers is who I would think is the most likely, and up for us to get if we go after a guy. And the third, what I think is going to happen is I think Gabe Davis is going to happen, and I'm going to be pissed off.
yeah. It's not out of the question. It's not out of the
To
question.
prove some weird point about it.
I mean, with how bad a receiving core is, I mean, I'm not saying that's the answer, but I think it would be an improvement.
But it's not the
He can
answer.
run a better post.
Exactly. He
Yeah.
can run some play action posts, and you can hit
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
the
Hey,
ideal
he's good
receiver
against the
for this
Chiefs. Maybe he can
I'll
have
die.
a vintage 200-yard game.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I'll make the case for Myers because obviously you guys are the Shaheed, so I'll make the case for Myers.
Okay.
I think Myers would be a good fit because it would trickle down into our receivers. I think Myers would take more CB1 treatment than Shaheed would.
Yeah.
I think Shaheed
Yeah.
might bring a safety over,
That's
while
right.
Myers would bring more CB1 treatment, which then would trickle down into more people separating, and then putting Keon at wide receiver 4 might actually do him good, and then actually produce for us and go like that. And then obviously McDermott talked about how much he liked Myers. He's a blocker as well. And then in the defensive tackles, as Steve is mentioning, Calais Campbell. Obviously, we'll shout out Greg Thompson on that. He was the first one to mention that. That's great. Easy 4-month rental to get him on like $2 million left. And then also I talked to a Browns guy. If we are going to fill a defensive tackle, Shelby Harris is pretty much available for a 6th. He's an older prospect that takes basically $600,000 for the rest of the year. You use him for the rest of the year just as a replacement to have on that line.
Yeah.
That's an option as well in the defensive tackles. But I don't think we're not going to go anytime like a big time defensive tackle. I don't think we need it, but I would understand if they were trying to get somebody for a 7th or a 6th just to fill a hole.
I see. I don't think D tackle is a higher priority because
It's not.
TJ
It's
Sanders
definitely
is
not.
coming back. Daquan Jones is coming back. Larry Ogunjobi looked pretty decent this game. Deion Walker's
Walker
looked really
started.
good all year.
He started.
Exactly. Deion Walker's been a beast. Like, I think those 4, and then maybe you call up a practice squad guy like each game is like the 5th guy is like to play a couple snaps or injuries. Like, I think that's just fine. I think that wide receiver is really the only position I think needs to be addressed unless you go and get like a Calais Campbell or a Shelby Harris or a Sebastian Joseph Day for super cheap, like a 7th round pick or a 6th to 7th swap, something like that. I wouldn't hate that. It's just if we only went over detail, I think wide receiver is 100% the main priority because it's the only position where we don't have in-house fixes to it.
Let me answer this question real quick. Top 2. All right, next.
Well, just off this season,
I don't care.
I'd
I don't
say
care what his stats.
top
His stats are
5.
good.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
I
a record is a
100%.
record. Like
He's
yeah.
great. No, I'm saying if just off this season, I'd probably say top 5, but he's QB2 in the league.
I mean, we're gonna put Daniel Jones and Jared Goff.
No,
Drake May.
no, get Jared Goff out of there.
Yeah,
I'm so anti Jared Goff.
Josh Allen for Drake May still today? Yes.
No, I'm saying
Lions
who's
do.
been
They don't
just
do that.
this season. Obviously, yeah, Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Drake May. I'm not arguing that.
part
I'm
of it
just
is
saying
that all
just
these
this
guys have
season you
better
can make the
weapons.
argument.
All these teams have better receivers than we do.
Bingo.
All the top guys do anyway.
Bingo.
I still can't believe Myles Garrett had 5 sacks and they lost by 20.
Yeah, don't throw your helmet. Literally,
Yeah.
it is
And
only
then-
you. Only you is the problem.
Yeah, you could be having those 5 sacks in Buffalo right now if you really wanted to force your way out.
For real.
Exactly. We would have given him Greg
Yeah.
Rousseau and 2 firsts. I mean, we wouldn't have Maxwell Harrison right now, but we'd have Myles Garrett. So
So
Yeah.
speaking of the other positions that we kind of could potentially go after, I'm actually kind of with what did you just say this, Randall, where you felt pretty good about everybody else? Now I feel pretty good.
Yeah,
Like,
I think the safeties work. Go ahead. Sorry, Alex.
Yeah, I was to say, I think that Hancock, they put him in pass downs this week. They said I think that he looked pretty good in what I saw, and he's got a good enough athleticism to play the back end. And then I also think that Poyer's okay if you just put him in there for certain packages. I think we can mitigate the problem. And I do feel, I said this at the end of the Falcons game, I feel way more like the defense is more in control with him on the field than more so than Rapp, even though I think Rapp's got more athleticism at this point in his career, barely probably. And then the Oliver loss sucks, but we're probably more equipped than anyone to lose a starting 3-tech. I mean,
That was
we
a
have,
whole game
Yeah.
plan.
yeah,
we have 10 of them like
Yeah.
in the building.
our whole defense is full of them. We're like,
Yeah.
Boyd can play 3-tech if he wants. Greg Rousseau can play 3-tech. I mean, you've
Right.
got Ogunjobi's a 3-tech. I thought he played pretty solid this week. And then
did.
you also have Deion Walker as a 3-tech. So like
Yeah.
as soon as Daquan Jones comes back, I don't think we're gonna miss. I mean, we're gonna miss Oliver, of course, but I don't think it's gonna be as big a drop off as you think, especially as Walker keeps getting better. I mean, he's ascended the last 7 weeks, in my opinion, where he looks like a legitimate starting 3-tech in the NFL right now. And
Yeah. Shout out to Poyer too, because he did do well, and him and especially when it comes down
I was about to bring this up. The McDermott play calling.
when it came down to like at the 10-yard line on that screen pass with Rapp and Bishop, like when he threw that screen pass, that would have been dead in the water. And the connection that Poyer and Bishop had was really, really good to actually stop that, because Bishop kind of set an edge on that screen, and Poyer came in and made that tackle.
Yep.
Typically, we are so dead in the water on wide receiver screens, and that saved that touchdown, which then led to the sack, which then led to no field goal at the end of the half. And that safety connection, even though when they had that together, was huge. And then I just kind of like to see the snap share. I believe it was like
And
it was doubled, then just kind of Hancock slowly get more snaps, and then by the end of the year, snaps are reversed.
Same thing with Maxwell Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison, I thought you could feel his speed on the field, man. I was excited. That tackle he had, I know it was just one play that was
His trail technique was really nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get targeted once in the game. I think he can really I thought it would just be a wash because he didn't know the system that well. But I think he's going to elevate the defense in a lot of ways, way more. As long as he can stay healthy.
Great footwork.
It'll be fine. And he looks good, too. I don't know if y'all noticed that.
Next year is the real test. Oh, yeah. When he doesn't look like this like skinny, frail guy.
No, he looks bigger than Trey White, and Trey White's 195 pounds. So, like, I don't know. I felt good. I mean, Hoyt, dude, I'm not out of the question to think that Hoyt might be their answer next year at edge rusher.
Yeah.
If they let Bosa walk.
Yeah. I think we should bring both. I mean, I think we should get Bosa, and then we don't have to worry about
we
that.
have the money. Yeah. Bosa, Hoyt, and Rousseau as your top 3 edge rushers, I think top 10 in the league.
Yeah.
He's a maniac.
Thing real quick.
They were all
when he
3 of
was
them.
punching-
It's crazy though. Epinesa, Hoyt, and Rousseau were all top 7, and was it just? I saw the stat. Was it just defensive end defensive EPA, or was it all defenders? I don't remember. It was all defenders.
No, defensive ends. It was
defensive ends. They were all of them were top 7, in EPA, which is awesome to see. I mean, everyone's like, oh, it's Carolina. Carolina has a very good offensive line. Yeah, Andy Dalton is much worse than Bryce Young, but Carolina has a very good offensive line. We've seen them run over teams, and then we just came and smacked them in the face. And I thought it's not like they have a bad offensive line, and then Bryce Young to Andy Dalton. It's like, oh, that's the only reason why. No, they have a very good offensive line, and we came in and dominated them. So
ever since the Miami game, I felt like the D line is really taken that challenge where they.
I'm
I
very
think
excited about the D-line.
Rousseau getting healthy, I think, is huge because he's kind of the guy that was supposed to be like the guy we just paid.
Yeah.
And these last 3 weeks, he's been
Hey,
very
this is
good.
the true.
Yeah.
Hey, our D line is the real everybody eats because everybody's
Yeah.
got like
Yeah.
2 sacks. I mean,
It is. Good point.
Which I'm fine with
point.
that.
I'm good
I
with
mean,
that
yeah,
too.
I would love to have a takeover guy, but it's kind of like the Walmart version of what Philly had last year.
Did you notice they didn't give Bosa?
We don't have a Jalen Carter. Maybe Dwayne or not Dwayne. Maybe Deion Walker could turn into that. Not saying he will, but like he has the potential to. The upside is there. But like we kind of have like what Philly did last year. They have like 8 guys who can get off after the passer, and they were just able to rotate them all on and get constant pressure. And we've been trying that for years with McDermott, and we couldn't. And now we do. We have legit 4 defensive ends who can get after the quarterback. And Deion Walker, Larry Ogunjobi, DeQuan Jones, not so much, but he can at least like he has gap integrity. And then TJ Sanders, like those 3 guys can get after them.
Yeah. Well,
Daquan has had good pass rush this year for Daquan.
Let me
Before that pop.
But it's not. He's still probably our worst pass rushing defensive tackle. He's a gap integrity guy.
Ogunjobi.
Let me answer all these.
I feel like Ogunjobi's better is a better pass rusher than DeQuan.
Yeah, well, probably overall, yeah. All right, so let me answer these questions real quick so we can get to them. McDermott's been calling plays, which is good. I know you want to talk about that, Miley. Did you want to touch on that real quick?
I just wanted to say that, yeah, I think that McDermott. I want McDermott to call the plays. Yeah, I want the only time I want.
They were doing it together, which like this just started 2 weeks ago, by the way. There's
like a dad and his child.
The only implement thing I want Babbage involved in is blitz schemes. Bring me those blitz packages and let McDermott kind of take care of the coverage and the run defense. Because I mean, in 2023, McDermott was the defensive coordinator, and the defense looked pretty decent, and then just everyone got injured come playoff time. I mean, who knows how that defense looks if we aren't having our top 2 corners out and AJ Klein trying to cover Travis Kelce. Like, our defense probably looks a lot better there. But I don't want McDermott as a defensive coordinator because it's just too much pressure, too much on his plate. I want him calling plays, though. If he can be the head coach that calls plays and have a defensive coordinator for game plan reasonings.
Coaches do all the time.
Exactly. Just do it.
All right. So our defense is rotating like a hockey line Sunday. That's pretty normal, actually.
Yeah.
Mahomes has thrown 2 picks, and Kansas City's up 7-0. I see that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Wish they were down 7-0. Hoyt will end up.
I think that's more of a Marcus Mariota stat, though.
Let's go. Come on, get that.
In sacks, that'd be awesome. I don't know if I
He's
see
a maniac.
it yet. He looked great in that game.
When he's trying to punch that ball, that's like the crazy mentality we need.
You see, they took the sack away from Bosa.
Did he? Oh, I tweeted about that because he touched his head.
He just touched the ground. They never gave him a sack. I'd make me pissed off. I don't know why
Commanders are at the 10-yard line.
He did it because he's on a contract here. Like, he got a 1-year deal, so he wanted that stat, and I thought he should have got it.
And we just said
this is funny.
Our offense is on food stamps. I'd argue that our offense is
everybody nibbles.
Starves.
Yeah, starving.
Yeah.
Starving, nibbling, whatever.
Well, our passing attack, our rushing attack is elite, but
Yeah, I agree. I think that just something. Honestly, if they had tweaked things a couple of weeks ago and it worked, I'd be against going to get a receiver right now. But it hasn't changed.
And it's annoying because like 10 out of the 11 spots in our offense are great.
We're gonna go.
We have a wide receiver, 2 vertical separator, and Josh Palmer. We have a slot guy. We have decent depth, like wide receiver 4 through 6, if we were able to get a 1. Very good tight end room, elite offensive line, elite run game, elite quarterback. We just don't have another guy you can win on the outside. That's all we need. We're one position away from having a no holes offense.
The problem is that Kincaid is like I have a little bit of a light. It drives me nuts a little bit. Kincaid he's had a great year for who he is. Like I think he's taken a step in the passing game, and him and Allen's chemistry is much better. But he's still getting hurt way too often, like oblique injuries, knee injury again. I didn't realize it turned into a knee. Like, man,
he's good. He's good on the knee. So that was just actually, yeah, from a source that was just ice on that knee with like he did it just to do it sort of thing. No doctor told him to do that. He just put it on there. So.
Oh, that's just like a recovery thing.
Yep, so just a recovery thing. So yeah, he was in. From what I know, he was in really good spirits, and he said he started opening up the tape for the Chiefs game the second he got to it. So,
And I wonder if his body.
I mean, he's a hard worker, 100%.
yeah.
I do wonder if his body's really changed that much. I mean, he still looks pretty small for a tight end. I think he looks a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
I do worry that his body can't. I mean, think about this. He's still only getting like 40%, 35 to 40% of snap share every week, and he's getting hurt. Like, it'd be different if he was playing like Kelsey snaps with 80, or what Kelsey used to do, 70%, 80% snaps. He's not doing that. And he's still kind of getting dinged up here and there. Like, he's got to, like, get his body right.
I think I wouldn't mind if we got a wide receiver at the deadline. I wouldn't mind him going on IR to just get 100%, go into week 14 to the playoffs and just be 100% the whole time.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to have a good game against the Chiefs with Howard Chance against the Chiefs. I think he's going to have a good game. I think they're going to ramp him up. I think they would have ramped him up more, but obviously our run game was too much against the Panthers, so it was what it was. But I think that against the Chiefs, we're going to do something similar to the Panthers. I think the Chiefs' defensive line right now is dismantled. Their linebackers are doing more of the work, and with our offense, with our offensive line, we can get to the second level and block those linebackers. But I mean, you're looking at like Nandi next to Chris Jones is one of the lowest graded defensive tackles right now. I mean, Chris Jones only has 2 sacks. He's not having a good game. Karlaftis is leading at 4. I think their defensive line is
like a real threat. Either.
And then-
no, he's not a real threat. 100%, exactly. I think we can run. I think we can run them over, and I really want that to happen because that will be a huge gut punch to KC, and then we can just like basically beat them up without showing a lot of tape. And I think that's a
And
real
then
possibility.
Their linebackers are basically like a perfect matchup for the Bills because we love to run crossers and short stuff with our receivers, and they're quick guys, and their linebackers suck in coverage. Like, we can run crossers with, if Palmer's back, with Palmer and Samuel and Moore, and they'll get open. We can run them with Kincaid. We can run it with everyone, and they'll be able to get open. Their linebackers are terrible. They're heat-seeking missiles in the run game, and that's the reason why their run defense is so good. Is you don't get hands on them, they're going to make plays, but you get them out of position in the pass game, it's pretty easy to pick that defense apart.
Yeah, I think that's where we should go now, is just the preview for next week and our kind of a last segment. This Bills fan 288-28282 wants to know where our chances are. We're about to give you that. All right, so just as a final segment here, who wants to go first on predictions? Because we didn't predict a couple weeks.
First.
We lost both those weeks, by the way. We didn't go specific into them.
I'll predict another classic game. I think we're gonna win. We're at home. We just played a lot better. It's probably, I get the Chiefs have looked really good, but they're only up 7-3 basically at half because the Commanders are about to kick a field goal. Mahomes has 2 interceptions. It's not like they've been perfect. Oh, they looked so good against the Raiders last week. It's the Raiders. The Raiders
and the Commanders are beat up. Like, first
the
of all,
Commanders are starting Marcus Mariota.
Yeah. The quarterback. Their defense is awful, by the way.
Mariota's outside of that bad interception, Mariota's carving up the Chiefs defense right now. He's 13 for 16 for 144 yards.
We have 100 people watching, so please like and subscribe. I appreciate it.
They got a touchdown? They won for it on 4th and 10 and got a touchdown, I think.
Well, they're reviewing it.
It was overturned. Yeah, it's 7-7. Touchdown to Terry McLaurin.
It was real close. His foot looked like it came up as he caught it, but I'll take it.
Yeah, so 14-17, 155 yards, a touchdown, and a pick at half, basically.
Right.
And I get they just got the receivers back, but it's Marcus Mariota. Like, if he can be able to thrash them, and Josh always plays better against the Chiefs. Like, he always, when it's time to step up against Kansas City, he steps up. He's not always perfect. Like, he'll have some bad plays here and there, but overall, he saves his best for Kansas City.
What's your score prediction?
34-31. I don't see either team getting a lot of stops. I mean, our defense looked better, but the Chiefs' offense overall has looked pretty good, even though it hasn't looked great in this game. And then I think our offense will be able to get the run game going because I think our run game has taken another step this year. James Cook's better. The offensive line is just as good as normal. And then I think that we'll be able to get off. I think Joe Brady opens up the bag a lot more for this game because it's the Chiefs. And if we want any shot at the 1 seed, we need to win this game. Because we need to win this game, and then we need the Chiefs to beat the Colts in a couple weeks. That's really our path to the 1 seed, is kind of hoping those two things happen. But if we lose to the Chiefs, we lose that tiebreaker. I just don't see us gaining it back. So I think this is a huge game. I get it really doesn't matter until playoff time. Like if we win, I'm not going to be like, oh, we're better than the Chiefs. We're going to beat them in the playoffs. But it's big if we want to get home field. We want to get this and that because like home field, we are a much better team at home. The first, literally against the Patriots, was the first home loss we had of the Joe Brady era and the regular season. We've lost 2 games at home since Joe Brady took over play calling. It was that Chiefs divisional round when we had half our defense and 1 receiver, and then it was that Patriots game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You want to go, Randall, or you want me to go?
Sure. Yeah, I won't echo anything that Miley said because I agree. And I mentioned the run game. I think we can really batter the defensive line in our run game in 22 personnel. I think that'll be great. Chiefs do allow over 100 yards per rushing per game. So I think that's where we will take over on that. Casey's pass rush is not there, so I think we're going to have clean pockets for Josh Allen, which is going to be great. They're playing Monday night, so they're going to be a little less rested come Sunday afternoon. They last 3 games have been home, so now they're traveling on a shorter rest. I think that's pretty big too. All we need, we're going to have to get a turnover. Now, I thought maybe that wasn't quite possible or how it was going to happen, but the Chiefs now have 2 interceptions in the first half, so that's impressive. So that could happen. I was thinking maybe a Hoyt or a Rousseau fumble, but we will have to win the turnover battle to win that game. I got it. I got a close one too. I think it's going to be like 24-23, that close sort of thing situation. And I think everybody's going to play. Don't give the ball to the other quarterback and try and soak as much time as you can. And then 24-23, Bills win.
Steve, I'll answer your questions here in a second if you want to sit tight. So I think that there's some major advantages we can take, like major weaknesses we can take advantage of. Kansas City's offensive line's beat up a little bit. Our D line is kind of coming alive at this point. I think that can really be an advantage for us. I think we'll be able to run on them as well. You're right. I think they've got some problems there. I don't think they rush the passer that well. I think I have a little bit more hope for their defense to be able to stymie us a little bit because of just Spagnuolo just knows how to play.
Yeah.
But I also think that Allen gets up for these games more than the others. I think there is a level of like complacency that's gone on with such a weak schedule. I don't really know if I want to see this weak of a schedule to start the season again. It just feels like there's times where we just don't feel like we're in rhythm because it doesn't matter as much. And then we get in trouble. So I think that's a problem. I think they do get up for this game a little bit more. I think their speed is real on the outside. I think that's going to be a problem. And then Rice is going to be able to take some of those underneath stuff. And I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball, but I don't think that's really a problem for them. I think that this is kind of who they are. I'm going to pick I'm going to pick Chiefs. We're going 27-20 Chiefs.
You're picking the reverse this year. We're gonna lose them in the regular season and beat them in the playoffs. I like your thinking.
I'm doing it, but yeah, I kind of hope that happens. My only fear, though, I'm dreading saying that, and I don't want it to be spoken into existence. Yeah. But I mean, I think if we lose this game, if we lose this game, the 1 seed's done. Okay,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it's done. The Colts are too far ahead. We lose a tiebreaker in Kansas City at that point.
We probably end up in the 3 seed.
This is a must-win game if we want to avoid having to play in the first round. If we don't win this game, it's over. I don't think we catch. I mean, we could be in the 4 seed in a lot of respects. I mean, we think about it, but probably because we beat the Ravens, and the Ravens will win their division potentially. For sure.
We have to play Pittsburgh coming up. I'm not too worried about Pittsburgh.
We should win that game. Yeah, you're right. I think that there's some of that. So yeah, probably the 3, which would hypothetically mean we would end up playing Kansas City in round 2 again unless they lose. And I wouldn't love that. Or we end up playing the Colts, which is not that big, doesn't feel as daunting, right? Because I think they will fade in the playoffs. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be able to handle.
Or the Chiefs lose today.
Or they lose tonight. Yeah. And we wouldn't be out completely, of course, but I think it's going to be a big deal for our chances to win this game. So I hope we win. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope you guys speak it into existence. Let's answer these real quick before we go. Do you guys not think that picking up a wide receiver at the deadline might be the most difficult position in the field to get reward? Yes, but they'll do it Amari Cooper treatment like last year and give him like 10 packages, and it'll make the defense play honest.
Yeah, it just him being on the field and it just be like, all right, for passing downs, and just be like, all right, we'll make it super simple. Just run these certain routes, so then it opens other things up. We can basically use him as a decoy. The first couple of games or whatever, as he gets acclimated in, and then we start throwing to him more, kind of like we did with Amari Cooper. Yeah.
Preach on that one.
This is a comment referencing the game tonight. Mariota looking pretty decent, and I agree.
That is, I mean, yeah,
That's the Titans. Titans got to fix the trenches.
Yeah, and
they got to fix everything.
And they keep picking the wrong quarterback. I'll be honest. Levis, I think he's got problems mentally with the game. I don't think Cam Ward's the guy either. I've just seen.
I think
Cam Ward's the guy for me.
I like what I've seen out of Cam Ward this year with how little he's working with. Awful offensive line and receiving core that sucks. Coaching sucks. Everything there sucks.
Yep. Everything.
I think his ceiling's
there's
low.
not a single. I don't know his arm. The way some of the throws I've seen him make this year. Some of the throws I've seen him make this year, I think his ceiling's very high.
Having an arm arrogance is one thing if you have an arm like John Elway or Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, but he's not on that tier. Let's be real. He's got a really good arm. I'd say he's a level or two below that. Still a very good arm. Like out of
he's
10,
athletic.
He's an 8 out of 10.
He can move.
His athleticism to me is like a 6. Like he's better than.
Where's your breaking point? Where's your breaking point?
I think he could be I would be like a Baker Mayfield.
He's better than Baker.
Him over like
level up on Baker and athleticism.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying overall as a quarterback, he's kind of similar to Baker.
Oh yeah, he's got a little bit. He's less controlled. He's less controlled, and Baker took a while to get on. And if he had the same problems, he may not get the second chance that Baker got either.
I think you look at it. I mean,
that'd be the
Baker got a
fault,
second.
Not him though.
I think Baker got a second chance because he went to dysfunctional organizations and Cam Ward.
I like Jackson,
the Browns, and then the Panthers. It's like Cam Ward was on the Titans. I bet you there's going to be some team that's out there. It's like, well, he was on the Titans. He could be fixable because they're poverty.
I like Dart better than him, though.
The jury's out for Dart.
I don't.
Because Dart,
I'm still not that high in Dart.
Dart was noticeably worse than Cam Ward in college. Dart, I need to see a better
system, though.
I need to
was
see
he worse?
More. Yeah, he was.
You think so?
Overall,
100%.
Yeah, he like crumbled against
Cam
Dallas.
Ward put up insane numbers.
Yeah, he was way better. But the issue is with Dart is adjusting. And then we need to see how he adjusts. Like the Broncos, when he led that fourth quarter drive, really came down to a defensive pass interference that saved him to get that touchdown. Mm-hmm. And he did not throw balls well after that. He was throwing them up, hoping it would work. He was pushing it downfield too much. And that's what Dart does with his arm. So he needs to be, I think Cam Ward would handle pressure better in the NFL than Dart right now, but both are good and Dart deserves his flowers, but I think Cam Ward's right now better.
I think Dart, his issue is consistency in the middle of the field in the intermediate passing game, which is kind of like I've seen people, they almost compare like the middle of the field passing attack to like the 3-pointer in basketball, where it's like if you can hit that, it really raises your ceiling. And I just don't trust Dart that much to be able to hit those intermediate middle of the field throws. He's a lot of RPOs and deep shots, kind of like what Bo Nix is. Bo Nix, I mean, he's been playing pretty good this year, and it looks like he's taken a step. But I think it's a lot of coaching-induced, schemed-up, easy stuff.
I think there's some.
I just don't see that. I see Cam Ward where it's just basically they're giving him nothing to work with.
I just think I'm lower on Cam Ward. And I'm with you guys on Dart. So I think
we can agree.
Yeah.
Those are the only two QBs worth anything in this class, though.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel, I think, could be
Shedeur should get a shot. No, Dylan Gabriel's got a noodle on.
Gabriel, they could be okay backups.
Shedeur should get a shot. I think
Shedeur should get a shot.
He should definitely get a shot when we play them week 17 or week 16. So that so we can get 10 sacks. He has some of the worst pocket presses I've ever seen.
He does.
And I'm going to that game, so I would love to see Sack City.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you on that one. I like it.
I saw a report that they are going to be starting on the last 4 games of the year. I don't remember where I saw that or how credible it is, but I saw somewhere that's kind of the plan.
I don't know the point of keep starting Gabriel. I mean,
it's because you drafted him higher.
No, he can't throw the ball. He can't throw the ball more than 45 yards.
But
can't do it.
I will give you that. His receiving core is god awful, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, Judy.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Flacco looks terrible, and then he goes to Cincinnati and looks elite again. Or looks like Joe Flacco.
I mean, think about it again.
Joe Burrow.
They got
Joe. I mean, I'm honestly getting to the point where I don't know if I even like Joe Burrow's at 4 for quarterbacks, but then when I see another quarterback come in and look there, like put up some good numbers in that system, it's like he's elite, but like, is there someone? Is he not that core 4 anymore? It's like
watching Jamar Chase all 22 is like so impressive. It's dumb. Like anybody can throw to him.
You know what the question about him coming out of college was he fast enough?
And then he had like 2 drops in the
They're like,
preseason,
I don't know
and
if
everybody
they're
was
like,
like, "Yeah, got it."
4-4.
That's always one of the examples I use when I'm like, I don't care about preseason. Look at Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
right.
That's awesome.
Right.
All right, guys. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Go Bills. Chiefs.
Go Commanders and go Bills.
Absolutely. Everybody like, share, subscribe. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you next week at 8:30.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sports book of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.